People have stumbled upon abandoned places and discovered valuable treasures and artifacts throughout history. Forgotten tombs, treasures, paintings, and money are only some of the valuable things that were discovered in abandoned places. The act of exploring abandoned places and uncovering hidden treasures has become a popular hobby for many adventurers and treasure hunters in recent years. While it can be dangerous to explore these places, the allure of finding something of significant value drives many people to take the risk. From sports cards to vintage cars, here are 20 valuable things found in abandoned places. Number 20. Sports cards left in an old Detroit building. If you're an avid card collector, you might understand the value of this discovery. In the heart of Detroit was an old Cadillac stamp building. It was there that several urban explorers stumbled upon an exciting find, a vast collection of sports cards that had been left behind. Whoever had owned this collection was a true sports fan, someone who had dedicated their lives to following the great athletes and teams of their time. Or at least that's what the explorers initially thought. Apparently, most of the collection found in the building was worthless Junior League hockey cards from the 90s. Some guy named Hub Hemmon stored them there back in the day, but forgot about them as he got older and eventually passed away. A big shot dealer had a chance to grab them before, but didn't bother since they weren't worth much. That's what he initially thought. Crazy how things can just sit and collect dust like that for years, huh? For avid collectors, however, the collection is a great find. Although the cards weren't worth millions, unlike premium ones, they still hold some value for avid sports fans out there. Unfortunately, we don't know what happened to the cards, whether they were carted out of the building or given to someone else. What we do know is that the abandoned building was torn down. Before we go on, like this video, smash the subscribe button, and click the notification bell right now. Number 19. James Bond prop. James Bond is a huge pop culture icon, and people go nuts over everything related to him, at least back in the day. It's pretty hard to find die-hard 007 fans out there nowadays. Doug Radinius was one of Bond's most avid fans, and he hit the jackpot when he stumbled upon the submarine car from The Spy Who Loved Me at an auction. This was a big deal for collectors and movie buffs alike. Doug was super into cars and had been looking for unique rides for a long time. He won a storage locker at a blind auction in New York back in 1989, and it wasn't until he got it that he found what was inside: the Lotus Esprit submarine car that was actually used in the James Bond movie. Doug couldn't believe his luck. The car was in fantastic condition, and he knew it was super special and would be sought after by collectors worldwide. But he also felt like it was his job to take care of this piece of history. He spent years fixing the car and making it look just like it did in the movie. Doug knew it wasn't just any car. It was a part of pop culture and had a special place in people's hearts. He wanted to make sure it would be around for future generations. Now, the submarine car is considered one of the most iconic props in film history. It's still inspiring people today. And that's all thanks to Doug Radinius, who was willing to take a chance on a random storage locker and ended up uncovering a significant piece of movie history. Today, the Lotus Esprit submarine car is considered one of the most iconic props in film history. Its sleek design and futuristic technology captured the imagination of audiences in the 1970s and continues to inspire new generations of fans today. Number 18. Nicolas Cage's comic found in storage locker. Nothing is more heartbreaking than losing one of the most valuable items in your collection. That's exactly what happened to Nicolas Cage when his copy of Action Comics #1, an incredibly valuable comic that could easily fetch more than $1 million, was stolen from his home. And yet, in 2011, it seemed like fate was on the famous actor's side when his very own copy was discovered in an abandoned safety deposit box in Tennessee. Talk about a cool fate. Number 17. Ring with Charlotte Bronte's hair. In 2021, a small gold ring containing a lock of hair believed to have belonged to author Charlotte Bronte was discovered in an attic in Scotland. The ring had been passed down through the family of Arthur Bell Nichols, Bronte's husband, and was kept hidden for decades. The ring's discovery has sent shockwaves through the literary world, reigniting interest in Bronte's life and work. Charlotte Bronte is, of course, one of the most celebrated authors in the English language. Her novels, including Jane Eyre and Villette, have captivated readers for generations with their vivid characters, atmospheric settings, and gripping narratives. But despite her enduring popularity, Bronte remains a somewhat enigmatic figure. She lived a relatively short life, dying at the age of 38, and left behind only a limited amount of personal writings. The discovery of the ring containing Bronte's hair provides a rare glimpse into her private life. The fact that it was kept hidden away for so long only adds to its mystique, fueling speculation about why it was kept hidden and what it might reveal about Bronte's relationships and inner life. During the 19th century, it was very common to make keepsakes containing the hair of a loved one who had passed. Before the advent of electronics, people were terrified they'd forget the faces and characters of those who have died. So they created these mementos to help remember those close to them. Luckily today, we have photos and video footage to look back on. For fans of Bronte's work, the ring is a tangible connection to a beloved author whose voice has resonated across time. But whatever the reason, the discovery of the ring containing Charlotte Bronte's hair is a reminder of the enduring power of literature and of the ways in which stories and characters can transcend time and place to capture our imaginations and touch our hearts. Number 16. Thornbury Hoard. The Thornbury Hoard is one of the most significant archaeological discoveries in recent times. It's a collection of Anglo-Saxon silver coins that were discovered by a metal detectorist in Thornbury, South Gloucester in 2020. The hoard is believed to date back to the early 11th century, a time when Gallienus and the Constantinian dynasty ruled England. It's one of the largest hoards of coins ever found, containing over 11,000 individual pieces. The Thornbury hoard was discovered by a man named Ken Allen. In 2004, the man was digging a pond in his back garden when he stumbled upon something he didn't anticipate, a hoard of silver coins that had been buried underground for 1,000 years. The coins in the Thornbury hoard are of various denominations, ranging from pennies to halfpennies. They're all made of silver and bear the image of kings and other royalties on one side and various religious symbols on the other. The coins are remarkably well preserved considering they've been buried in the ground for so long. Experts believe that they were buried in the early 11th century during the reign of King Canute. Number 15. Mayan artifacts. You should always think twice before you throw away something. Just listen to the story of Nick DeMola, for example. Nick DeMola is a man who worked as a cleaner in Queens. One day he stumbled upon a treasure worth $16,500 after taking home a mysterious barrel from an apartment in Soho. The barrel contained dozens of ancient Mexican artifacts such as bowls, figurines, and jugs made between 300 BC and 500 AD, some by Mayans. DeMola obtained the valuables when his company was hired to clear the cluttered space of abstract artist Clinton Hill, who left his possessions to his partner, Alan Tran, upon his death. Tran passed away just months later, and Hill's estate paid DeMola $4,500 to clean out their apartment, studio, and basement storage. The barrel was mistakenly considered trash and was left in a warehouse for years, collecting dust. When DeMola finally opened it, he was amazed at the discovery he had made. The foundation formed by Hill's friends to take valuables from the studio cannot recover the artifacts from DeMola. They declined to congratulate him on his find, saying they were sorry the barrel slipped through the cracks. Since the foundation signed the contract with DeMola to remove and dispose of certain things, and they marked the valuable items as trash, it's their mistake. One of the most valuable objects that DeMola found was a $1,000 stone axe god from the Mezcala region of Mexico that may have been intended as a sacrifice. DeMola, who doesn't collect ancient art, planned to sell the pieces after packing them back into the barrel. He said that he didn't see the beauty in the pottery, although he appreciated the history behind it. This goes to show that the saying one man's trash is another man's treasure is indeed true. Number 14. The Waiting Cat. In the world of exploration, sometimes the most unexpected discoveries can be the most fascinating. This was certainly the case for one explorer who stumbled upon an abandoned house in the middle of nowhere. What he found inside was both eerie and heart-wrenching. A dead cat laying on its owner's bed as if it were still waiting for them to come home. This explorer had been wandering through abandoned buildings when he stumbled upon this abandoned house. At first glance, it appeared to be just another empty building, left to decay in the harsh elements of the wilderness. But as he stepped inside, he knew there was something different about this place. The air was thick with a scent of neglect and decay, and he could tell that no one had been there for a long time. But as he made his way through the various rooms, he came upon the bedroom, and that's when he saw the cat. It was a small cat lying motionless on the bed. At first, the explorer assumed it was just another dead animal left behind to rot in the abandoned house. But as he approached it, he realized that the cat's eyes were still open, and it looked almost as if it were waiting for someone to come home. It was as if the cat belonged to the owner of the house and had passed away because there was no one there to care for the pet. The thought of the cat waiting patiently for its owner to return was almost too much to bear. Number 13. A body in a casket. In May 2016, a shocking discovery was made during construction work on a home in San Francisco, California. The workers found the mummified remains of a young girl, estimated to have died approximately 145 years ago. The discovery led to a mystery that captivated the city and sparked intense public interest. The story began when the new homeowners hired a contractor to do some renovations. During the work, the the contractor uncovered a small casket measuring about 3 feet long and 1 foot wide. Inside the casket, he found the body of a young girl, estimated to be between the ages of 3 and 5 at the time of her death. The discovery was shocking, and the new homeowners immediately contacted the authorities. The case was handed over to the San Francisco Medical Examiner's Office, who launched an investigation into the girl's identity and the circumstances surrounding her death. The initial investigation revealed that the home had been built in the late 19th century, around the time of the girl's death. The house had gone through several owners over the years, and none of them were aware of the existence of the small casket beneath the property. The medical examiner's office thoroughly examined the mummified remains, which were in remarkably good condition considering their age. The examination revealed that the girl had died from natural causes, likely due to malnutrition or disease. Despite extensive efforts by the medical examiner's office to identify the girl, her identity remained a mystery. The only clue they had was a small rose placed in her hand, leading them to speculate that she may have been a member of a wealthy family. The discovery of the girl's body sparked intense public interest and media attention. Many theories and rumors circulated about the girl's identity and the circumstances surrounding her death. Some speculated that she may have been a victim of foul play, while others suggested that she may have been the victim of a rare disease or illness. The San Francisco Medical Examiner's Office continued its investigation, determined to uncover the truth about the young girl's life and death. In 2018, after several years of research and DNA testing, the girl's identity was finally revealed. Her name was Edith Howard Cook, and she was born in 1873. Her family had been prominent members of San Francisco society, and her father was a successful businessman. The discovery of Edith Howard Cook's remains was a remarkable find that sheds light on a forgotten chapter in San Francisco's history. Number 12. Criminal's Treasure. In 1991, Pablo Escobar, one of the most notorious drug lords in history, was killed in a police shootout. Following his death, authorities raided his luxurious mansion in Medellin, Colombia, searching for evidence and confiscating assets. What they found was beyond their wildest dreams: a secret stash of money worth millions of dollars. The cash was hidden in walls, ceilings, and underground safes, and was estimated to be worth around $20 billion. This discovery shocked the world and added to Escobar's legend as a criminal mastermind. However, it also raised many questions about how he managed to accumulate so much wealth and what would happen to it now that he was gone. Escobar had been the leader of the Medellin cartel, a powerful drug trafficking organization that controlled much of the cocaine trade between Colombia and the United States during the 1980s. He was known for his violent tactics, including bombings, kidnappings, and assassinations, and had amassed an enormous fortune from his criminal activities. The money found in his mansion was believed to be a small fraction of his overall wealth, which he had accumulated through drug trafficking, money laundering, and other illicit activities. It's unclear why he chose to keep such a large amount of cash in his home, but it's believed that he may have been planning to use it to flee the country or to pay off corrupt officials. After the discovery, the Colombian government seized the money and put it into a special fund to help finance social projects, such as education and housing for people experiencing poverty. However, many controversies surrounded the handling of the money, with accusations of corruption and mismanagement. Despite the government's efforts to put the money to good use, the discovery of the stash of cash only added to Escobar's legend and reinforced the idea that crime can indeed pay. Many have speculated about what other hidden treasures may still be out there, waiting to be found by the lucky few who stumble upon them. Number 11. Movie posters. Two builders found a stash of 66 cinema posters from the 1930s and 40s when they renovated the home of a relative of a Cardiff cinema owner. The posters were used as makeshift carpet underlay and remained in good condition due to being kept under the carpet for several decades. The posters featured films starring Hollywood greats such as Laurence Olivier, Boris Karloff, Vivien Leigh, and John Wayne. The star poster in the sale was for the 1939 classic John Ford Western Stagecoach, which sold for £37,200. Posters of horror films also proved popular, with one for the 1940 movie Black Friday starring Boris Karloff and Bela Lugosi fetching £1,440. Another beautiful poster was for Alfred Hitchcock's 1940 film Foreign Correspondent. The posters adorned the New Theatre, Capitol, Empire, and Olympia cinemas in Cardiff between 1936 and 1941. The builders held on to the posters for over 30 years before selling them at auction. With the money they got, their retirement was already secured. Number 10. Original Giovanni Boldini painting. There's something beautiful in places that were once lived in by people, and there's nothing more intriguing than opening an apartment left unopened for the past 7 decades. In 1942, The owner of this fancy apartment in Paris took off to the south of France to avoid being caught in a Nazi attack. She never returned, but surprisingly kept paying the rent until she passed away at the ripe old age of 91. Fun fact, the apartment belonged to the granddaughter of Martha de Florian, who was a big shot back in the day, an actress and socialite who had plenty of people wanting to be around her. For years, the apartment sat all by itself until 3 years ago when a group of people was sent to look into the place. What they found was nothing short of amazing. The apartment was a time capsule that had been untouched for ages, with all the luxurious details and decorations still preserved. And to top it off, there was a stunning painting of a woman in a fancy pink evening dress. After some digging, they discovered that the painting was done by a famous Italian artist named Giovanni Boldini. The woman in the picture was none other than Martha de Florian herself. It turns out that Boldini and Martha were more than just painter and muse. They were actually romantically involved, and love notes between the two were also found in the apartment. The painting was made when Martha was just 24 years old, way back in 1898. Since the discovery, the painting has been valued at a whopping $3.4 million and is considered one of the most incredible art finds of the century. Number 9. A winning lottery ticket in a dumpster. Do you play the lottery just for fun? You buy one ticket every week just in case luck finally gives you the money you deserve. You'll never know if you won't try, right? This is one of the craziest stories you'll hear. In 2005, a man in Massachusetts accidentally discovered a winning lottery ticket while sifting through a trash bin. White Hen Pantry is a convenience store in Blackstone, a homey town with a population of 9,000. The store's manager, Bob Penta, remembers one customer from all their regulars, Edward. The 83-year-old man was easy to tell apart from the other locals because he had a peculiar habit of sifting through the trash in front of the convenience store each night he visited. You never know, right? You might find something valuable while looking through what many believe is garbage. And he was right. One fateful night, Edward fished out something unexpected from the trash, a $1,000 winning lottery ticket. The convenience store manager verified that Edward was indeed holding a winning ticket. Of course, after the news spread, many people tried to claim the winning ticket. Who wouldn't want the chance to get their hands on a winning ticket? Aside from the fact that it was incredibly hard to determine who really bought the ticket and threw it in the trash, the website from the State Lottery Commission claimed whoever signed the ticket and presented it to the counter would be acknowledged as the winner. So I guess lucky for Edward and unlucky for whoever threw away $1,000. Number 8. Precious Belgian coins. So get this. A group of workers were tearing down an old house in France and stumbled upon a bunch of ancient Belgian gold coins from the 1870s. These 600 coins were hidden inside a lead case and had the face of King Leopold II on them. They're worth a whopping 100,000 euros now. The workers found the treasure in Port-Aven, Brittany by shaking the case and hearing something inside. They called the French police to check it out, and the police sealed the area. Interestingly, the property owner wasn't shocked about the discovery since his grandpa was a coin collector. According to French law, the workers get half the value of the coins, while the other half goes to the landowner. And guess what? The police got nothing since they were just doing their job. Sounds unfair, huh? But that's just how it goes. Sometimes finders don't end up as keepers. Number 7. Masterpiece in the trash. In 2003, a woman named Elizabeth Gibson stumbled upon a discarded painting during her morning walk in Manhattan's Upper West Side. She took the painting, a modern art masterpiece by Mexican artist Rufino Tamayo called Tres Personajes, home with her, despite not fully understanding its significance. Gibson spent 4 years trying to learn more about the painting, and eventually discovered that it had been featured on the popular PBS program Antiques Roadshow, and described as a missing masterpiece that had been stolen in 1989. At an auction at Sotheby's Latin American art site, an anonymous American collector bid over the phone and purchased Tres Personajes for an astounding $1,049,000. The painting had a tumultuous past. It was initially purchased by a Houston collector for $55,000 in 1977 as a gift for his wife. However, it was stolen from storage 10 years later while the couple moved to a new home. The widow, who wished to remain anonymous, decided to sell the painting after her husband passed away. Rufino Tamayo, the artist behind Tres Personajes, was born in 1899 and passed away in 1991. His art is known for its vivid colors and expressions reflecting his native Oaxaca. Gibson received a $15,000 reward for turning in the painting and will also receive a percentage of the sale. Number 6. Door stopper worth millions. Sometimes you have to look around to realize the actual worth of the things around you. The valuable marble bust of Sir John Gordon, created by French artist Edmé Bouchardon in 1728, was lost for years and found being used as a doorstop in an industrial estate in the Highlands. Sir John Gordon was a Scottish nobleman who lived in the 17th century. He was born in Aberdeen and grew up in a family with a long history of serving the Scottish crown. Despite being born into privilege, Sir John was known for his humble and down-to-earth personality. As a young man, Sir John was sent to France to receive his education. He studied at the University of Paris and became fluent in French, which helped him establish diplomatic relations with the French court later in life. After returning to Scotland, Sir John became involved in politics and was appointed as a member of the Scottish Privy Council. He also served as the Sheriff of Aberdeenshire and was responsible for maintaining law and order in the region. He was also known for his philanthropy and supported various charitable causes throughout his life. He donated generously to the University of Aberdeen and helped to establish a hospital for people experiencing poverty in the city. He was also a patron of the arts and supported several Scottish poets and playwrights. No wonder Edmé Bouchardon was compelled to create a sculpture after such a remarkable historical figure. From a bust doorstopper, the worth of the bust sculpture suddenly rose to more than $1 million after being recognized as the creation of the famous artist. Who knows? Something just as valuable might be collecting dust in your attic, waiting to be noticed by a keen eye. Number 5. 5,000 gold pieces. A French heir thought he only received a house from his deceased relative. He didn't expect the surprise that came alongside it. Inside the house, he stumbled upon a treasure trove of gold coins and bars worth millions of dollars. The heir found thousands of gold coins and bars weighing a whopping 100 kilograms. That's 200 pounds in total. The coins were hidden in various places throughout the house he inherited in Normandy. According to Nicholas Fairfort, a local auctioneer who was called in to value the furniture in the home, the gold was extremely well hidden, almost as if the owner wanted the next housemaster to have a fun treasure hunt. It was tucked away under piles of linen, under furniture, and even in the bathroom. The gold stash consisted of 5,000 gold pieces, 2 bars, and 37 ingots, which dated between the 1940s and the 1950s. It wasn't until the new owner started moving the furniture that he stumbled upon the first tin box of coins screwed to the underside of a piece of furniture. From there, he followed a trail of other hiding places until he finally hit the jackpot with a hefty pile of gold bars. That's when he called his solicitor to inventory his newfound treasure. However, before he could enjoy his newfound wealth, the lucky finder needed to pay an eye-watering inheritance tax of 45% and 3 years in back taxes on the gold, since the deceased failed to declare it. It's a small price to pay for such a fortune, but it does give the tax man a big payday. It's incredible to think that such a treasure could be hidden away in a house for so long. Who knows what other treasures are out there waiting to be found? It just goes to show that you never know what surprises life has in store for you. Number 4. $500,000 in Spanish gold coins. A lucky resident of San Jose stumbled upon a massive treasure trove of gold coins worth $500,000 for the price tag of $1,100. The man reportedly purchased the contents of the abandoned storage unit at a Bay Area auction. He wasn't expecting much, but he got the best deal in the entire auction. Inside the storage container was a pile of gold coins stored inside a plastic bag. Sources claim that the gold coins were reviewed by an expert who identified them as Spanish gold, dating back to the 16th and 19th centuries. A few gold and silver bars were also found inside the storage unit. That's a bang-for-the-buck deal. A seasoned storage auction buyer claimed the original lessee of the storage unit might have already passed or been stuck in prison. After all, there was no way they would leave behind such an incredible treasure. Number 3. Treasure in the walls. It's commonly known that banks are a safer place to store your hard-earned money than under your mattress or on your walls. However, not everyone trusts banks to safeguard their funds. Take, for example, someone who lived in the 7th century and hid 44 gold coins in a wall. Recently, Israeli archaeologists made an incredible discovery almost 1,400 years after the coins were hidden. The stash of coins was found at Banias, which was once called Panias, and is known as an important spiritual site throughout history. The gold coins found are made of pure gold and weigh around 6 ounces each, featuring engravings of Emperor Phocas and Heraclius. They were believed to be hidden during the Muslim conquest of the area around 635 AD. Experts believe the owner of the coins concealed his fortune in the face of war, hoping to retrieve it someday. Unfortunately, it seems that the owner could not return to his treasure. Experts are still investigating the discovery of the coins, hoping to uncover new details about the economy of the Byzantine rule in the area. The Byzantine Empire, a continuation of the Roman Empire, was centered around modern-day Istanbul. During the excavation, several other remnants of the time period were discovered, including pottery kilns, water channels, and buildings with mosaic flooring. So what do you think about this discovery? It's pretty amazing to think that these coins have been hidden for over a millennium, and we're just now uncovering them. It's also fascinating to learn more about the Byzantine Empire and the significance of the artifacts they left behind. Number 2. Medieval Pendant. Who would have thought an incredible pendant would be hidden in the dump for over 6 centuries? The dump was located in Mainz, which is a city about 30 miles away from Frankfurt. There, researchers found a rare and unique pendant made of gilded copper. It turned out, however, that the artifact they discovered was more precious. The pendant is actually a reliquary, a small container that holds relics. And guess what? This particular reliquary is from the late 12th century. The Leibniz Zentrum für Archäologie and the Technical University of Munich worked together to study this unique pendant. They used some special techniques that wouldn't damage the relic and were able to see inside the pendant. It's really incredible what modern technology can do, isn't it? However, that's not the only thing that made the discovery special. Inside the pendant was the bone fragment of a person. To this day, researchers are still unsure if the bone fragments found inside the pendant are actually from a saint or which saint they might be from. Usually, reliquaries come with a strip of parchment that indicates the saint's name whose remains are inside. Unfortunately, this particular reliquary doesn't have one. The researchers are careful not to damage the object, so they won't conduct any further analysis that could harm it, including searching for the parchment. And now, it's time for today's topic. In a world where everything seems constantly changing and evolving, discovering time capsules is always incredible. This apartment has not been opened since 1939, and after 70 years, a surprise no one believed was discovered inside. Upon entering the apartment, the explorers who opened it were overcome with eerie stillness. It's as if time itself has stood still, frozen in a moment of history that is both fascinating and haunting. The apartment is filled with antique furniture, vintage clothing, and other items from a bygone era, providing a glimpse into a world that has long since vanished, like a time capsule. Many have wondered why the apartment was abandoned in the first place. Some have speculated that the original inhabitants may have fled during the war, while others believe that it was simply forgotten over time. Whatever the reason, the fact that this apartment has remained sealed for so many years is a testament to the enduring power of the past and the secrets that it holds. These experiences make urban exploration more fun, doesn't it? As always, comment down below with the hashtag today's topic and let us know your opinion about what we just showed on screen. With that said, let's keep things moving. Number 1. Vintage cars. In 2013, a team of explorers chanced upon a great find when they encountered not one, but 5 vintage cars sitting in the garage of an abandoned manor in the village of Hampole, England. Vintage cars have always been a source of fascination for car enthusiasts and collectors. The discovery of these cars is sure to cause a stir in the collectors' community, and they will likely be valued at a considerable sum. The manor in itself was a sight to behold. Neglected over several decades, the house was in a state of disrepair, but it's hauntingly beautiful with its empty halls, deserted pool, and empty rooms. Which of these discoveries surprised you the most? Let me know about it in the comments down below. Also, check out our other cool stuff showing up on the screen right now, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, everybody.